welcome to my Necromancer tutorial. Here I'll be going over some basics about being a Necromancer, the build you'll need, the weapons you might like, and the quest that should interest you. What we are looking for in the Necromancer class is survivability, utility, and control. The three spell archetypes that will provide this is alteration, conjuration, and restoration. If you're confused about alteration and restoration being my other two choices, I'll explain that later. So with this in mind, we gotta be thinking about what race do we want to choose. For me, I would say Bretons. Bretons are always my first choice. They start off with a conjuration spell, which really helps you kick off your training right away. It's their main skill. They have bonuses to alteration and restoration as well, and resistance to spells naturally, and a racial ability that absorbs spells as well. They're just absolutely fantastic necromancers for this reason. Now, most people would choose High Elf. High Elves are one of the most popular spellcasting classes. They have a power that gives them a very deep magicka pool. And not necessarily just a deep magicka pool, but it just regenerates so quickly it doesn't even look like it's depleting. It's seriously crazy. And although illusion is their major skill, they still get bonuses in alteration, conjuration, and restoration. And something most people would enjoy is that they get bonuses to enchanting. And the third choice I would say is Argonians. Now, a lot of people think, oh, Argonian, that's so off the wall. I mean, why Argonian? And I would say Argonians, they have survivability. They have the Hiskin ability, which lets them regenerate health extremely quickly. And they still get bonuses in alteration and restoration. I would only really pick Argonian if you have a problem surviving, or if you value survivability above control. It makes you more of a tanky necromancer, so to speak. But for now, I think I'm gonna go and be a Breton for the purposes of this tutorial. Yeah, let's make him look all menacing. Yeah. That's about right. Coming out of the cave over there, we're going to look at perk trees. First perk tree I want to look at is restoration. Now, some people don't like the idea of a necromancer with restoration. They're like, I'm a dark and menacing necromancer. Why would I use restoration? Well, my answer to that is a necromancer is a dark, lazy, and selfish healer. He only reses the dead to use them, and then he just throws them away. They're expendable. It's basically two sides of the same coin, yada yada. But anyway, back on topic, restoration is a key player in this build. You'll naturally get a healing spell from the start of the game, but you'll want to get some wards and turn undead spells later. Wards, actually, now that I think about it, maybe not. I don't know. Depends on what you do with yourself. Now, looking here, you have Novice Restoration, which is pretty much a given since you can't really get anything before that. But between recovery and regeneration, I would actually go regeneration first. Because having your spells heal you more gives you more survivability, and extremely early on, that is extremely useful. You are a necromancer. You want to be undying. You don't want to fail just because you didn't heal 15 points in the last 15 seconds, whatever. Now, the next thing that I would be looking at is recovery. I would take recovery right after regeneration because you want all the magicka you can get. Plus, you're a spellcaster. You know? It just makes sense. Now, the next thing I would get is Necromage. It's fairly out there, but I have confidence that you'll get there eventually. And this is really what we've all been working towards. It helps you put up that circle of protection and pretty much lets you boss around undead places. I'll talk about that later. If you want to, you can take, no, that's not it. You can take restoration dual casting if you wish. I would advise against it, but some people, you know, it helps. But I would generally advise against it. And the last thing I would like to talk about is avoid death. Avoid death is pretty much a necromancer's dream ability. It's like, just as you're on the brink of death, you defy all odds and come back as a phoenix rises from the ashes. You're just the undying threat that you want to be. It's extremely nice, and actually I would recommend this for any class that happens to get 90 in restoration. Now the next thing we're going to look at is alteration. Conveniently right next to restoration. Might be able to do this in one take. There's a lot of debate about how useful alteration is. I find it very useful. Alteration provides the utility we're talking about. Stone Flesh is good early on, but the main reasons why we're picking it is for the perk tree and 3 spells. The 3 spells I'm talking about are Detect Dead, Detect Life, and Paralyze. Dragonhide doesn't really become useful like by the time you get it, because it's only 30 seconds and it costs way more than it's worth. I mean, unless you're under the restoration perk Necromage and you happen to be a vampire. First thing first, I would say take alteration dual cast. Although I normally advise against dual casting perks, this one I would advise to go with. And my reasoning behind this is it makes Paralyze work on pretty much anything. I don't think I have a single creature besides a dragon that can resist a dual casted Paralyze. My bad, I had a bit of a whatever there. Okay. And of course you're kind of forced to pick these, but I don't mind so much. They help. I would definitely pick Magic Resist. I mean, there's no bigger joy kill than a mage hitting you with lightning only to find that you can't cast anything, you can't res, you can't defend yourself, you can't even heal. It's like, you need it. And by the time you get the 3rd perk, it gives you like, if you're a Breton, it gives you like 55% magic resistance, and it's just absolutely crazy. Going up further, I don't know about mage armor. I'm on and off about it. I mean, I like it because I like to wear robes. It's not necessarily the smartest thing to do, but you know, it's all your choice. But you can definitely make armor that's way better. And then of course add up to alteration. I would skip stability. It's okay if you want it, but it's not critical. I took everything on this perk tree, but yeah, I don't know. I'd say pick it if you really were concerned about your paralyzed. Oh, and you know, maybe it might help out the Dragonhide too. But anyway, back on topic. Expert alteration, no brainer. Archernok. Archernok is a lifesaver. Since they fixed the bug, I would definitely recommend this. If you haven't updated your game, steer clear away. This becomes really nice if you're a Breton with magic resist perk to the 3rd level, completed the Mara quest, and possibly even have the Lord Stone. You're pretty much invulnerable to spells. But I'm not going to be going over the Lord Stone in this video. You'll have to look that up. Anyway, going on the last but not least, Conjuration. Now, Conjuration is really nice. It's your crucial skill. You start off on 25 with it, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, let's see here. I would actually say stay away from dual casting, because if you have a zombie at low levels, you just want to use it. If you're not just using it and disposing it, then you're not really using it efficiently. Keeping it around longer isn't really convenient. The only parts of the tree that really matter are the parts that lead to the Master Conjuration, which is up here, and the part that leads to Necromancy, all the way up to here. So pretty much you take this one and that one. You can go ahead and take Mystic Binding if you want, but you know what, I really just don't care for it. I mean, it's nice if you have if you want a bow and arrow and you're not really good at bow and arrow, and you know, whatever. There's no reason to take Summoner perk either, because it's hard to aim your raised zombie, but you can if you want. I mean, honestly, it's way too hard, especially with Dead Thrall. It's extremely hard to aim that, so I see no real reason. Besides, you should be a good Necromancer and stay behind your meat shields. When you level up, I would try to get my base health at least to 260. It's a very important stat. I mean, I'm not saying go crazy like 500 or something, but you know, you want to keep it fairly high depending on your level. Magicka is really what you want to invest in as well. Minimum 360, 480 is recommended. I would say 600 max. And once you get like somewhere between 480, 600, you know, maybe around 500, I'd say definitely start investing in health. Stamina, it's not really needed. It's not like you'll be running, it's not like you'll be doing any power attacks, and if you want to really just carry more, just use your dead like pack mules. They'll understand. Now there's an extra step I believe that Necromancer should take. There's this place right next to Whiterun. It's pretty much right around here. Actually, it's more like, hold on. It's more like right there. You just follow the road pretty much until you reach here, and you just follow this road. Actually, I led you the wrong direction. Okay. Time to go to the other road. The one that still has bricks on it. This step is not difficult, it's just an extra step that you need to take to make the most out of your Necromancer. There's a standing stone here called the Ritual Stone. I missed it, okay. There's a standing stone here called the Ritual Stone. It's very close to Whiterun. It's the very first hold most players see in the game. And what I really like about it is it's pretty much your first taste of a necromancer, or at least it was for me. Basically, you got the necromancer and you got his little minions. They can die, I don't care. Huh. Well, excuse the minor glitch that just happened. Okay, so basically, what's really cool about this is there's always a necromancer here. He usually has some nice items, you know. Basically, all you'll need to be a necromancer. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and kit that. Look at me, I'm a real necromancer. Ah, no, I'm not. I need to get this first. Now this is a very, very powerful power. The ritual stone is your oh shit button. You should only use it when you're really in trouble or confident you won't need it again soon, because it has a 24-hour rest time. But it's the most powerful necromancy power in the game. Not only can you raise almost anything, but there is no limit on the amount that it raises. The only limitation is that it only lasts 2 minutes, but that's enough time. I mean, I was able to clear out an entire bandit camp just by using one of the spell. In case I decided to fast forward this, this is what I wanted to show. See, normally you would not, I don't care, normally you would not be able to resurrect a giant. It's pretty much impossible, especially at later levels. But with the ritual stone, you can do this. Just to show you how powerful this necromancer power is. And you probably know from playing at least 5 seconds of Skyrim how powerful these things are. It's a pretty powerful skill. Okay, now I'm going to explain the combat. The idea behind being a necromancer is that you have others do the dirty work for you. Kill maybe 2-6 people, resurrect them, let them take the heat and aggro. The more they die, the more powerful you are. That's the whole frame of mind you're supposed to have, that you should have. Like, you don't want to have confrontation. Let him do all the battling for you. But this is where we have our conjure familiar, and those who have dawnguard will have bonemen and wrathmen and whatever else kind of minions. Go get him, wolf. Aha. And now this one is mine. Oh, and using res zombie is probably the fastest way you can boost up your conjuration skill. Yeah. You should dominate in places like vampire lairs, Draugr crypts, and graveyards. You should keep your turn undeath spell on you at all times, if you can cast it. You should have no excuse to lose in these locations. Skeletons and Draugrs are a little harder to res in later levels. Honestly, I don't know why I was able to res this, because it didn't work before. Maybe it was some kind of patch or something. But those who can't become resurrected by your raise zombie spell, you always have your ritual stone. So if you save your ritual stone for those really hard to raise zombies, then it really helps you. If it becomes really tough, you could just clear out an area, kill, all of the creatures in an area, use your ritual stone, bring them to the next area, clear out that area, and then rest for 24 hours after you clear the next area. Rinse, repeat, recycle. It really helps you clear out a place entirely. I forgot to add this in my notes, but I might as well say it since I'm playing the game right now. But sneak is a really nice skill to have as a necromancer. You never know what you're up against. You're supposed to utilize the areas you go into. Places like this are just like home. Let's see. Okay, I want to mention that this place right next to Falkreath is one of the places that you will find one of your first res zombie tomes. Right here. Just this mountain. Which is also something I think that you should get as a necromancer first starting out. Sometimes, if all else fails, you always have daggers. Thank you! I think I'll actually pick Magicka. Restoration is extremely key. So basically what you want to do as a necromancer is you'll kill a few. You might want to use a dagger to do this. Stealth really helps. Res the dead. Now that is your meat shield. You must use this to your advantage. Yes. Okay, so now that I'm finished with that vampire, I'm gonna try resing it. Too powerful, you say? Well, that is why I have brought the ritual stone. The new Dawnguard expansion coming out, there are supposed to be some summon undead spells found in the Soul Cairn and heal undead spells. I would recommend these as primary spells instead of raise zombie, because they have a lot more uses. You don't have to wait for dead bodies, but I would still keep the ritual stone around and maybe dead thrall if you have it, because it's always nice to imprison some unlikely foes and use them. As far as weapons, I would stick with daggers. As I said earlier, if you would choose a skill that is beside those magic schools, I would pick stealth, because it helps you go in there, kill him, and then res him, and then have him take out the entire place. Daggers are really nice because there's a perk inside the sneak tree. Let me see. that make them do 15 times normal damage. That can make them very well be the most powerful weapons in the game. As far as enchantments, if you wanted to go with enchantments, I would reduce the cost of conjuration and alteration. But if that doesn't suit you, you can pick anything that will regenerate your health and magicka, or resist spells, or any combination between. Maybe a few extra notes. Paralyze is extremely nice because it helps you get in those first few kills. Because all you really need to do is get those first few kills in, and then the rest of the battle's already won. You tell me what you think about my build. Leave comments in the section below. Tell me how you think this could be done better. I'm open for opinions, and tell me what you thought of my ideas.